Sentence corrections, the second section of the test, count for just 14% of your score. Do this section after you've completed the essay and the summary. You'll be given 7 sentences, each of which has 2 errors. The objective is to rewrite the sentences, fixing both errors while not changing the overall message. You receive 1 point for each error you correct. So if you see only one of the 2 errors, just fix that error and move on. Because if you guess at the other error and you accidentally introduce a new error, you'll lose the point that you just gained by fixing the first one. Let's take a look at a few examples. Neither Albert nor Martin have completed the assignment. They do expect to meet the deadline. First, we have a run-on sentence or a comma splice. The first sentence should end after the word assignment. You can fix this by replacing the comma with a period and capitalizing they. You could also put the word but in between assignment and they. Neither Albert nor Martin have completed the assignment, but they do expect to meet the deadline. That would preserve the original meaning, essentially. Many people don't see the other error or they're not sure about it. This would be a good example of a sentence where you'd want to just leave it alone after you fix the run-on sentence problem. The other error has to do with what we call subject-verb agreement. Have completed should read has completed. We have a compound subject, Albert, Martin, joined by nor. So whenever you have compound subject joined by or nor, you must have a singular pronoun. Neither Albert nor Martin has completed the assignment. Let's take a look at the next sentence. When someone has a hard time saying no, they may find life very stressful. Okay, there should be a comma after the word no. It's because we have a dependent clause followed by an independent clause. Whenever you have that kind of configuration in a sentence, you must have a comma after the dependent clause. We also have a pronoun antecedent problem. The pronoun they refers back to someone. When someone has a hard time saying no, they. So they is plural and someone is singular. And that's a problem. So they needs to be a singular pronoun so that it agrees with someone. So you replace the word they with the pronoun like one. When someone has a hard time saying no, one may find life very stressful. Or you could say he may find, or she may find. You could say he or she may find. All of those would satisfy the singular pronoun requirement. And let's look at one more. The stores all raised prices as a result of the gasoline shortage. This was the reason we have had fewer tourists this year. Again, we have a run-on sentence. The first sentence should end after the word shortage. So you can fix that by putting a period after shortage, getting rid of the comma and capitalizing this. That would fix one error. The second problem stems from the usage of the word this. So here we have a pronoun that's referring back to something. The question is, what does it refer back to? Is it the gasoline shortage or is it the prices? Could be either one. So this is called a vague or an unclear pronoun reference. To fix that, you might want to get rid of the word this and replace it with something like the gasoline shortage was the reason we have had fewer tourists this year. Or you could say, for both reasons, we have had fewer tourists this year. Okay. You can go ahead and try the other 4 sentences after this session. And let me just finish by saying that in some cases, you may not be able to see the errors To help with this, it may be useful to have a checklist of errors to look for. So you might want to remember a mnemonic as I'm showing here. SWAPS VC, SWAPS VC. Those letters are meant to represent sentence, word choice, apostrophes, pronouns, spelling, verbs, and commas. After looking at many, many examples of sentence corrections, almost all of them tend to fall into these categories. And you'll observe that we actually saw several of these in just the first 3 sentences that we did. So you take a few minutes to memorize this, and then when you're taking the test, if you can remember those letters, they'll give you a mental checklist of things to look for in the event that you can't find one or more of the errors.